Okay, everyone. Welcome to the May rendition of the Army Reserve Family Program Shop Talk. I am James Cowser, the Volunteer Program Manager, Certification Program Manager, and the Training Manager for Army Reserve Family Programs. Today, we have a great guest for you, one of our own staff members, Mr. Darcy Williams, who's going to talk to you about the Employee Assistance Program. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder, but on behalf of Colonel D. Donato, who is our director, and Mr. Taiwo, our deputy director, I thank you all for coming and spending your midday with us on this great day. So let me get the slide deck up and going so Mr. Williams can begin to bedazzle you with his great information. So without any further ado, Mr. Williams, the floor is all yours.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate that introduction. For all of you, I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good day, and hey, wherever you are, I hope everything's going well for you and the sun is shining. First of all, my name is Darcy Williams. I know a lot of people look at my name and they say, oh, DRC. No, it's Darcy Williams. Not to be confused with Mr. Willie Williams, who is the director for the SSD. I am the Employee Assistance Program coordinator for the United States Army Reserve Command. I oversee the program, and each one of your regions has an EAP, and I will go through that as time once we get to later on in the slide deck. So, without further ado, please, here we go. So, once again, welcome to the Employee Assistance Program briefing. All of us experience problems at one time or another when severe and distracting personal problems interfere with our happiness. They can also negatively affect our productivity on the job. Personal problems can interfere with attendance or make us late for work. They can alter our behavior in undesirable ways, affect our attitude, cause us to be careless, increase our personal risk on the job, and adversely affect our decisions, demeanors, and interactions with others. And for these reasons, and because employees are every organization's most valuable resource, your employer, the United States Army Reserve Command, has established an Employee Assistance Program, or EAP. Next slide. An EAP is a structured approach for helping employees and their families identify and resolve personal problems and concerns that may affect job performance. These problems and concerns may include emotional and psychiatric problems, alcohol and other drug related problems, marriage and family problems, financial and legal problems, interpersonal conflicts at work, stress, vocational issues, and almost any personal concern. And when I say any, I do mean any. Next slide. In locations where Defense Health Agency services are unavailable, the EAPC, or the Employee Assistance Program Coordinator, may provide screening and referral services for other adult living issues for Army, military, retirees, and family members. Supervisors should be encouraged to consult with the EAP regarding employees who have problems that may affect their job performance, attendance, and or conduct. So with that being said, as you can see, this is who we service. We have assisted DA civilians, the DA civilian family members, military family members, Army, military retirees, and their family members if they're in austere environments. We assist supervisors, employees, and the organizations. Next slide. Employee assistance professionals are specifically and specially trained and experienced at listening and asking the right questions to gather the correct information to help you decide the best course of action to take to resolve any issue or difficulty that you may be facing. With that being said, I'd like to make sure everyone understands, number one, this is non-clinical services. All of our EAPs are here as a sounding board or as a reference. So if you need help to try to find any type of assistance you need, we will help to point you and refer you to the system or organization that can best assist you. Next slide. When you meet with an EAP, he or she will greet you, set you at ease, listen, and help clarify the problem. We'll discuss the options, and then we'll assist you in formulating a plan that best helps in resolving the problem or issue for you. Because once again, even though everybody has a problem, the same approach will not work for everybody. Next slide. It has been estimated that between 12 to 18% of employees experience personal problems that lower their productivity, interfere with their attendance and availability, and adversely affect their attitude, conduct, and with their attitude, conduct, and working relationships. Smart employers know that employees don't always leave their personal problems at the front door when they come to work. What affects the employee's personal life at home may affect their employee at work. Giving employees access to a free and confidential resource can help them to resolve personal problems easier and more quickly. Research has shown that EAPs are an effective way of helping employees and can reduce the risk and loss that can accompany unresolved personal problems such as absenteeism, accidents, lower productivity, injuries, and higher workman compensation costs, turnover, interpersonal conflicts on the job, low morale, and that's just to name a few. EAPs are pro people and pro organization. Everybody wins when it comes to the EAP. Bottom line is we are here for everybody. We're not here for the organization. We're not here for the people. We're here for the people. We're here for the organization. We're here for everybody to make your work environment a better place. And if you have problems at home, they assist you with those issues as well. Next slide. In addition to helping employees resolve personal problems, the EAP can help to improve productivity and organization in other ways. This includes working with groups of employees and work teams, providing education and training on health, wellness, human relationship topics, managing critical incident stress, making contributions to the development of organizational policies that affect the employees, consulting with management to help employees improve productivity, and advising the organization on its behavioral health benefits. Next slide. EAPs are strictly confidential. The, identif- the identity of an EAP participant, the identity of EAP participants are protected by confidentiality laws or provisions and the right to privacy all employees share. Confidential problems have rare exceptions that permit disclosure in emergencies when a person's life is threatened or the abuse of a child or elderly person exists. Our organization's policy affirms the confidential nature of the EAP. Information about your personal problems or the issues shared in confidence at the EAP will not, and I repeat, will not be shared with the organization or other persons without your written permission. A signed consent for the release of confidential information is required before the EAP can disclose to someone that you are a client. A release does not provide blanket permission to the EAP to release information. Only specific information you designate to a specific person can be released. And ultimately, the best way to put that is when it comes to our exceptions is this. If you are planning to cause any type of physical harm or have caused any type of physical harm to another individual or plan on causing physical harm to yourself, then as an EAP, we are required to inform someone else to protect you and to protect others. Next slide. And here's a couple important things we need to know about the EAP. Once again, first thing is the EAP is non-disciplinary. A referral to the EAP by the supervisor based on the job performance problems is does not constitute a substitute for disciplinary action. Whether the employee uses the EAP is not a cause or reason for a disciplinary action or a reason for any other type of derogatory or negative actions. EAPs cannot interfere with administrative or supervisory practices. The EAP cannot advise your supervisor on disciplinary matters or protect you from disciplinary actions. It is not a safe harbor. You are still responsible for satisfactory job performance, even if you are an EAP client. There are no fees for an EAP service. The services of the EAP are paid for by USARC, your employer. If you require a referral to other resources of health, the EAP will consider your ability to pay for these services and whether your health benefits plans will apply. So, in other words, we will ensure that whatever service we try to direct you to for assistance will be in line with what you can afford. Next slide. The EAP is not a psychotherapy service or a treatment program. EAPs specialize in identifying problems, assessment and interviewing, motivational counseling and problem solving, and referral to the right source of health. The EAP is voluntary. Employees cannot be forced to go to the EAP. However, policies or regulations governing certain workplace infractions, such as drug-free workplace, violence, etc., may mandate that the management make supervised referral to the EAP. If the employee is to be accommodated for the possible existence of health or psychiatric problems. Seeking help from the EAP cannot adversely affect you. You cannot have your job security or promotional opportunities jeopardized as a result of participating in the EAP. Next slide. So, now that brings us to the biggest question I know that most people have. What kinds of problems or issues or concerns should you bring to the EAP? The EAP is available to help you or your family members resolve any personal problems. There are many types of personal problems that affect employees. Some may require only a phone call to the EAP. Some may require to meet in person with the EAP. Some may require one or more sessions. These issues may include, but are not limited to, many of the following: life management issues, marital and couples conflicts, parenting skills, social and relationship issues, financial issues such as credit problems, debt collection, loss of income, budgeting, and conflict over money, legal problems, fear and anxiety over medical conditions, elder care issues and caregiver stress issues, such as depression, anxiety, medication management issues for psychiatric conditions, eating disorders, social issues. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There are also alcohol and drug related problems that, that that we can assist with. These can be alcohol and drug use problems, and to include drug addiction, family members affected by the drug or alcohol use of another family member, relapse issues, or maintaining or establishing an abstinence program and or program of recovery from addiction, codependency, and also teenage substance abuse issues. These can be job-related problems such as getting to work on time, co-workers conflicts, issues in working with your supervisor, performance concerns, career counseling, difficulties in making decisions, stress, exhaustion, work pressure, being affected by downsizing, pre-retirement planning and related concerns, and difficulties of new positions. I know that's a lot, but once again, that is just a slice of what we can help you to find solutions to issues to resolve. Next slide. Other information about the EAP is that our biggest and most important aspect of what we do is the follow-up. Follow-up also helps you to troubleshoot problems or issues that get in the way of using those services or following through with a plan of action that you and the EAP decided upon together. The EAP won't compete with other resources in the organization that are available to help you. Instead, The EAP will refer you to those resources when appropriate. The EAP is not a substitute for the advice and counsel of your personal physician. The EAP can help you locate help and medical resources within the community. The EAP is not a provider of medical care or health services and is not an emergency medical service. If you experience an emergency medical an medical emergency, be sure to contact the EAP later for other assistance. Next slide. Administrative leave is authorized per the Administrative Leave Act of 2016, Office of Personnel Management, and 5 CFR Part Statute 630.1403, and the OPM fact sheet can also be used as a reference. So bottom line is, if you need to see the Employee Assistance Program Coordinator or the EAP, Employee Assistance Professional, you do not have to use your leave. If you need somebody to talk to, just call them, schedule a time, and we'll provide that time. Generally, it'll be an hour, and overall, it's about 2 hours from beginning to end. So that would include maybe a 30-minute travel time at the beginning to and from the counseling location or the location where you're discussing your issues. Next slide. The EAP is accessed by employees and their family members primarily by self-referrals. You do not have to be recommended to the EAP by someone or receive anyone's prior approval. So if you have a problem and you need someone to even just to listen, because that's another aspect of, we're really sounding boards. Just, hey, call us up and say, hey, look, I need to talk to you for a minute. If we have the time, we'll give it to you right then and there, or we'll schedule a specific time to sit down and talk. Next slide. Supervisors or managers may also refer employees to the EAP when job performance problems exist. An employee's referral to EAP does not relieve supervisors of their responsibility to manage the employee. This occurs when your supervisor or manager recommends that you participate in the EAP based upon your job performance problems. If you are referred to the EAP by supervisors, it can be helpful to sign a release so the supervisor can be notified of your participation. No personal information will be disclosed, only notice of your attendance and participation in the EAP's recommendations. So bottom line is, hey, if you're having any type of issues, the supervisor will or should refer you to the EAP. That way, the supervisor can do their part to ensure that the company and the organization's productivity is being maintained, and the employee assistance professional can assist with getting you to a point back to your previous status of, less missing work, improve your quality of work and just help you. Next slide. So this slide represents each one of our locations. We have an EAP located in each one of our regional directorates. We have one in our 63rd, which is a Miss Olivia D. Bass, which she is in attendance also. So if you need to contact her, here's her email. And we have Miss Sonia Jackson, who is on the 81st. She is not present today due to leave. I myself am here at the headquarters building at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and am available to assist anyone with any issues. In the event you are not able to make contact with any one of your EAPs in your regional directorates, you're always welcome to send me an email. And if you are located here in the headquarters building, just come find me and we'll sit down and we'll talk about any issues, and we'll set aside a time. We have Mr. Michael Larson in our 88th, who is also present, And we have Mrs. Bernadette Kirkland in our 99th. She's having technical issues, so she was unable to attend. Uh, Next, also, let me also acknowledge the fact that Miss Jackson, I mean, as you were, Miss Jones, she assists Puerto Rico and our Germany brethren and sistren. Next slide. So here's what we have for a quick reference slide. We have a link to our EAP program per the Office of Personnel Management in the Employee Health Services Handbook, which you're always welcome to reference when if you're trying to figure out, hey, can the EAP assist me? There's your information right there. Then we also have created a USARC Employee Assistance Program SharePoint website. If you go to the home page and look to the right, you'll see Employee Assistance, and you click on that, and then it'll take you directly to our site, which also contains a link to our Mill Suite site, our Mill book, which is our last link on this page. And if you we try to place a lot of information on there, whether it be information on drug, substance issues, substance abuse issues, and with everything going on in today's society, COVID. If you have anything, we place things on there on mindfulness, on breathing, retirement issues, pay and entitlements, anything that can affect any of our, whether you be a day civilian, family member, a retiree, even military personnel, please, please, please look at our site and see what we have on there. We're just trying to make sure that we do as much as we can to help and maybe make someone's life a little bit better. And next slide. And that concludes my portion, my briefing. Um, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And before we do that, I will allow Miss Bass, she is our EAP for our 63rd RD, to introduce herself. And that way people can know, if when they give her a call, how she sounds and who she is, so they know they've contacted the right person. So Miss Bass, if you please, can you give us a little introduction of who you are and what you do, ma'am? Over.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Bass. I am the APL for the 63rd Division here at Moffett Field. And I provide, like you said, assistance for the federal employees, retirees, and their uh, eligible family members with any resources you might need, whether it's childcare, um, non-clinical counseling, and just any resource you may need. So feel free to reach out to me. I have been in this position for, I would say, about a good month or so. So I'm fairly new, but I am learning the ins and outs of everything, and I'll be glad to assist.
Thank you for that, Ms. Bass. And I see we have a question here referencing, can service members request services as well? Slides indicate service family members, but do not mention soldiers. Ma'am, that is correct. Service members now, and please, here is why this does happen. When you are in the uniform, services for service members are available everywhere. So if you're in uniform on active status, you can go to the, let's say, substance abuse, excuse me, substance use, there we go, substance use disorder clinic, and they will offer you assistance. This is primarily for our family members because, and I use myself for an example. I'm a retiree, so I'm able to use a lot of services on post. Their family members for the TPU service can contact us. The same rules apply, whether it's TPU soldier, anytime they're in a uniform, they're able to get those services. Now, with that being said, and that seems, and I want to make sure this clarifies everything. I/we will not at any point turn anyone away. That's the biggest point I want to understand, want people to understand also. And then I'm going to get to Mr. Larson, let him introduce himself. We will not turn anyone away. We will assist you the best way we can to make sure you get the help we need, because we are here to assist and make our whole organization better. Yes, our mission is DA civilians, family members, and retirees. But if a soldier were to come to me and say, hey, look, I need some help, I would still help point them in the right direction, and my team will do as well. So I hope that answered that question. Let me go ahead and let Mr. Larson, matter of fact, let me let Mr. Larson introduce himself, and then we'll go ahead and answer that next question. Over.
All right, good day, everybody. I'm Mr. Mike Larson. I'm out of here of Fort McCoy at the 88th RD. And just as previously described and through a lot of the PowerPoints and Ms. Bass, is that we're here to provide assessment and consultation to address any stressors that are impacting livelihood and well-being for our family members or any employees under that umbrella that we work with in the reserves, and we want to ensure that we can intervene as effectively and, of course, as quickly as possible to those stressors so we can help those folks get the best outcome that we can. And I recognize some of the names on here, and for those of you that will be at the Family Programs event up in Boise, Idaho in July, I'll be there, so be welcome to stop in and say hello. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Miss Henry, I believe you have a question. Over.
Good afternoon and good morning for some. This is Miss Henry with the 63rd Readiness Division. I'm the Regional Family Programs Director, and I just wanted to invite Miss Bass. Myself and the entire Family Programs team will be at Moffett Field next week because we're doing our annual staff training. So we would love to stop by, say hello, or either have you come by our training room and just say hello to all the Family Program staff. I'll have the staff from Texas all the way to California there. So you welcome to the 63rd, and we look forward to meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Henry, and we appreciate the fact that people are at least acknowledging us and letting us know what's going on. With that being said, I'd also like to let it be known that we are having, June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. So we will be conducting 4 webinars on Alzheimer's, 3 on Alzheimer's, and 1 will be conducted by the TBI Clinic. And they will be on Zoom. For the first 3 will be on Zoom, which the dates will be 7 June, 7, 14, 21 June will be on Zoom. The 28th will be on Teams, and it's free to attend. And hopefully for anyone that if you have a family member that suffers from Alzheimer's, it'll kind of help give you a better understanding and resources. The briefings will be conducted for the 7th, 14th, and 21st, will be conducted by the Alzheimer's Association. So, hey, if you have any questions, feel free to contact your EAP or myself. The links have already been established on our Millbook site as far as the dates. We will be sending out a SGS, all hands message to everyone and a headquarters building. So please, we're just starting the program up. We've been around for, I'm going to say, a year, because that's when I got here. A couple of our EAPs have been around a little bit longer, but we just really want everybody to understand we're really here to help. Everything is confidential, and if you have any questions, any issues, I don't care if you're trying to get your car fixed, your water heater blew up, trying to get hey, just call us and we'll help you find the resources in your area. So if there are pending any questions, that's really all I have. Mr. Kuser?
Cowser.
Cows. I'm still learning, man. I'm trying to grow up and be as smart as everybody else. Hence, that's why I have so many great people to support me.
Okay, I had a couple questions before I turn over to the rest of the field. You mentioned that the individual at the 81st also supports the 1st and 7th MSC in Puerto Rico and in Germany or Europe.
Yes.
Who supports the individuals in the 9th MSC, such as Hawaii, Guam, Alaska?
And that would be Mrs. Bass,
Outstanding.
the 63rd RD. And thank you
Outstanding.
for pointing out. I did forget to mention that. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Also, these awareness events you have going on in the month of June. Do you have a flyer or anything like that with all those dates and everything on it, ready in like one location? Because if so, can you provide it to me, and I can provide it to all the family program professionals in the field, so that, or at least through their regional director, that way they can disseminate the word down to all their customers that they service and support also. Over.
Yes, sir. I can do that also. I will say I will have that sent out to you within the next once we get off this meeting, sir.
Outstanding. So thank you again. So at this time, before we get started going any further, does anyone else have any questions at all for Mr. Williams, Ms. Bass, or the other colleague they have on the line with us today regarding the services of EAP? Don't be shy. Because this program is relatively, well, it's not new, so to speak, but a lot of people may not have been aware of it. And of course, the question did come up, why not soldiers? Because as Mr. Williams alluded to earlier, soldiers have so many people taking care of them. We're trying to get something for our DA civilians, for our family members, and our retirees who are also our customers. We're trying to provide some information and services that can assist any and everyone that falls within the realm of the Army Reserve family. No one else has any questions at all for Mr. Williams or the other colleagues on his staff? Okay, then. That being said, you know me, I take silence to be golden. Um, thank you, sir, and Miss Bass and Mr. I can't remember the other one's
Larson.
name, Mr. Larson, for joining us today, um, providing us great information. These slides will go out. As you all know, this session has been recorded. I will send the URL out for this session probably tomorrow, as well as a copy of the slide deck. So, but before I go any further, I want to bring attention to the slide I'm showing right now. Everybody save the date. As you know, each quarter, family programs have been sponsoring a town hall with the CG, the CSM, the senior spouse, and sometimes the command chief warrant officer. And we also have various professionals to bring information to our soldiers and family members on these calls. Next month, on June the 8th at 2000 hours Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Texas, that's 7 o'clock. If you're in Colorado, that's 6 o'clock. And if you're in California, that's 5 o'clock p.m. And I can't convert the other time zone because I'm not that good at math no more. But the bottom line is, it is at 2000 hours Eastern Standard Time, is an opportunity to get some great information about another services available for our family members and our soldiers, as well as an opportunity to ask questions for the commanding general, the command sergeant major for the Army Reserve, as well as the command chief warrant officer for the Army Reserve, and the senior spouse of the Army Reserve, also a senior volunteer. Uh, we have a great crowd each time. Pass the information along. It'll be seen on Facebook Live. It'll be on the Army Reserve Family Programs Facebook page, as well as the Army Reserve Facebook page. It'll be what they call simulcast. You know, that's a word that Mr. Butters taught me. Simulcast on both sites. So if you follow the Army Reserve page, you get an alert. You follow the Family Programs page, you get an alert. And if you follow both, you probably get two alerts. But we're gonna be there on June the 8th at 2000 hours Eastern Standard Times, providing some information on behavioral health, as well as an opportunity to ask questions and concerns with the commanding general, CSM, maybe the chief warrant officer, as well as Mr. John McCarthy, the senior spouse for the Army Reserve. So without do anyone have any questions of me regarding that? I take silence to be golden. Again, before we go any further, I let you know I put in the agenda. We talk about what's going on within the Army Reserve right now. this bad thing we called COVID, we kind of getting a grasp on it. So we're kind of going back to doing in-person trainings and in-person yellow ribbon events. So if you are out there in the field and require family readiness training, the the geographic commands are beginning to sponsor regional soldier and family readiness trainings again. Contact your service family program professional to find out when the next class is available in your area. They're also doing yellow ribbons for those soldiers who are mobilizing. They're going back to doing yellow ribbons in person also. Again, contact the servicing yellow ribbon coordinator for the region in which you reside to get further information regarding these events that are upcoming within the Army Reserve during this and next fiscal year. So at this time, anyone have any questions of me before I begin to give you back some more time in your day? I take silence to be golden, and I'll be remiss if I didn't say on behalf of also Mr. John McCarthy, who is our senior volunteer. Thank you all for coming out today. On behalf of Colonel D. Donato, the Director of Army Reserve Family Programs, and Mr. Mufu Taiwo, the Deputy Director of Army Reserve Family Programs. Thank you for everything you do for our soldiers and our families, our civilians, and thank you for everything you do on a day-to-day basis to help take care of all of our customers out there in the field. I'll see you all next month. Again, second Thursday of each month at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have another great presentation for you next month. Thank you all for coming out and enjoy. God bless.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. Bye.
I think May's like 30.
Thanks, James. Have a great day.
But I'm
Thank you, Peggy.